So we've created our functions now. We've got an add, subtract, we've got multiply, we've got divide, functions that we've created at the top. We've defined them, and then we've called the functions down here, and you'll see that it works, and it should work exactly as you want to do. Now you'll notice that at the moment we've left our parentheses here empty, but a function like print has got things inside it, and it's we've separated them by these commas, and these are actually arguments that we're passing into the print function. We're saying, right, print, we want you to be able to work with these things. These are the things we want you to be able to print. Same for input. We're saying, right, input, we want to give this prompt here to the user. So whatever's inside the parentheses, the brackets, is the argument that the function is going to handle. So when we define a function, we might say, for example, that we want it to take two arguments, such as x and y, like this. Now, our code actually works at the moment. So you might think, why is this important? Well, some of the things we'll do later, I'll show you how passing in arguments is really important. So it's a good technique to do now. So if I just run this code, let's just see what comes up. So we've got x6, okay, good. Now, when I've called this function, I've now called the add function, I'm getting a type error because the add function is missing two of these arguments here. So when you, although I've said, okay, when the add function, you're going to expect two arguments from the user. And when I call it, I didn't pass in those two arguments. So we need to also put in here the variables that we want to pass in. Now, these actually don't have to be the same name. These x and y variables that I've created here are for this x and y, and I'm putting in the x first and then y second. But actually here I could change this to num1 and num2, and it's going to take whatever the first variable that's passed in as num1, in this case the x, and then whatever variable is passed in second as to num2, in this case it's going to be y. But we do need to make sure that here inside the function they are called as they are here inside the function here. So let's test this out and just check that it works. 7, 3, add. Okay, good. So it still works. Nothing has changed in terms of the feasibility of it, but we're now passing in these arguments. We're passing in some data into the function. We want the function to do something with that data. Now, why is that important? Well, actually, at the moment, these x and y variables we've got are what we would call global variables. They exist in the whole of the running of the program. But what if I had put these the getting of the numbers into a function itself, and actually they didn't exist outside of that function? Well, then in that case we wouldn't be able to use x and y up here in our functions, because they would only exist within a different function. Like this multiplication here, for example, this only exists within the multiply function. So if I wanted to use multiplication down here to print something out, I couldn't do that because it just exists inside this function here.